So a couple of weeks ago, Lionel Messi announced that he was going to be leaving PSG for MLS side Inter Miami. And when I saw this, really, it got me thinking about Messi and Ronaldo, because let's be honest here, they're both coming towards the end of their careers. They're probably going into the last move of their career, and really this move got me thinking about both of them, because now that they're at the end of their career, their moves to me are very, very interesting, because the way I see them is that both Messi and Ronaldo have kind of changed the way players will end their career, because usually players that get to their mid to late 30s would go to kind of like a mid-table club, maybe in another league somewhere like Serie A or the Bundesliga. I think we saw that with Franck Ribéry. I think he went to Fiorentina, and Ian Robben went back to Ajax. I can't remember who Robben played for, but I know, sorry, not Ajax. He didn't go back to Ajax. He went back to the Eredivisie. I can't remember who he played for in that league, but those two players at the end of their careers would have gone back there, and they were nowhere near close to earning the wages that Messi and Ronaldo earned. So yeah, as I said, this got me thinking, because Messi and Ronaldo have really opened up other avenues for players now and future players to go down when they come towards the end of their career and they're not really as good. So teams really at the top level in Europe, so your Bayern Munichs, your Real Madrids, your Manchester Cities, your Liverpools, your Barcelonas, they don't particularly want them basically, because they're not good enough to get them to the level that they want to be to. So obviously Messi and Ronaldo have opened up really avenues in Saudi Arabia, and now Messi with his move also to the MLS. Also, this will allow players to really get those big money moves at the end of their career, because especially in Saudi Arabia, they will pay big money for a big name. Obviously with the Cristiano Ronaldo signing, that was quite an obvious one. So really in Saudi Arabia, they want the big names and they will pay a lot of money for it. They have the money. It also depends how long will that money last. However, in the MLS in America, they also want that star power in the MLS. Certain teams do, other teams don't. I'm guessing it's going to be mainly Inter Miami who want those star names like Messi. So there are a lot more players that are rumoured to go to the Saudi Pro League, and a couple of these players are Hakim Ziyech is rumoured to go to Al Nassr with Cristiano Ronaldo. Koulibaly, this is a surprising one, Koulibaly is rumoured to go to Al Hilal. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce all of these teams' names right. But yeah, Koulibaly for me is quite an interesting one, because he's only spent a year at Chelsea. So for me, that one was a surprise. N'Golo Kante is rumoured to go to Al Ittihad, and I think that's the team that Karim Benzema has signed for. And really with N'Golo Kante, it's not as much of a surprise for me, because he is kind of coming towards the end of his career, and I think he's kind of dropped off a bit in the last year, so he's probably looking for another big money move. And then this next one is a player that I've kind of heard about, but he's never really made that big money move into Europe. William Carvalho is rumoured to go to Al Nassr, and he's in his 30s as well, so that one wouldn't surprise me. I think he's spent more or less his entire career in the Portuguese league. He was always rumoured to go to somewhere in Europe, like one of the big European teams, but that just never happened. So those are just a few players that are rumoured to go to the Saudi Pro League. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. However, there are some players also rumoured to go to the MLS as well. A couple of these are Sergio Busquets is rumoured to go to Inter Miami. Jordi Alba is also rumoured to go to Inter Miami. And the last one, Angel Di Maria, is also rumoured to once again go to Inter Miami. So really all of the MLS rumours are to go to one team at the moment anyway. And really a lot of these players are kind of getting on a bit. They're close to their mid-30s or they're in their mid-30s. So you can't really blame them for going for a payday, due to the fact that top teams are looking towards really younger players to kind of go forward. Also with the older players starting to drop off a bit, they do usually take up quite a lot of wages, which is especially why I think you'll see a lot of the older Barcelona players in particular will go to these clubs. So really, once again, this gives players multiple options when moving away from Europe. This could really be at the end of their career. This could be if they've had a bad injury and they're not the same. Just, you know, it gives players multiple options where they can go and earn good money, really whatever stage they're at in their career. Because obviously players won't just go to these leagues when they're at the end of their career in their mid to late 30s. Some players might just go in their late 20s, like I just said, for example, if they've had like a bad injury and that's really derailed their career. However, though, unfortunately with something like this, because a lot of money is involved, there is good and bad that comes with this. So first of all, let's just get the bad over and done with. The players might just end up thinking more about money than the game, and I know this is an obvious one, but it's got to be brought up. And I know the argument's going to be brought across that, oh, they've got to make as much money as they can because they can't play forever. Yes, but these top players already have the money as well. Unless you're a complete flop at the start of your career, then you're going to have enough money to be fine. So really, I think that some of these players, this is going to sound harsh, should just retire. I'm not saying all of them should. Obviously, if they just want to go on and play because they love the sport, then okay, whatever. Or if they just want to go and play for the money, I'm not really bothered. But I think some of them should just retire. I mean, you've already got a big payday when you're in your mid-30s from having a long career. So when it comes to the money, I just think that some players, it's like they don't need it, and it's not really like they're doing much. They're just going to Saudi Arabia and just continuing to play. I mean, there's not really much more I can say to that one. Also, players this is a bigger concern. Players could decide to go to these leagues earlier, obviously because of the money again, go earlier when they're in their prime, or even worse, before they're in their prime. So this could lead to some players really going to these leagues for the money, and they're not even in their prime yet, so we will never know how great they could have been because they went to a lesser league for a lot more money. And this would really be a shame due to the fact that we've seen some players actually do this before when big money was offered to them, so we never saw them throughout their prime and we never saw how good they could have been. So players deciding to do this a lot, well, in the middle of their career basically, I think could become a big issue depending on how much obviously the Saudis and the MLS are willing to offer. So moving on to the good points, this gives players multiple options at the end of their career, like I've already stated. So if a player's coming towards the end of their career and they just want one last big move, or they just want to continue playing and there's no clubs in Europe really that want them, they have multiple avenues to go down. They have multiple options to choose from, which is always a good thing, to be honest. I mean, it's always a good thing to have multiple options, and they can continue playing. They might still have that spark in them as well, where they can produce moments of what they used to be, but just not be that consistent, which would be good for these other leagues that are trying to come up. And it also gives the players another chance to get like one last final payday as well. And I know that kind of contradicts what I just said, but that is a positive on the players' side, that they could get one last big payday at the end of their career, which is always good and is always nice for a player to have. So that's the end of the video. What do you think about Ronaldo's and Messi's moves, considering these are going to be most likely the moves that end their career? Do you think it's good for the sport? Do you think it's bad for the sport? Or do you think it doesn't really change that much? Leave all that down in the comments. If you like this video, give it a like. If you like this video, and if by any chance you've watched any other videos and you like them, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video.